Yo, JD here, Limitless, and as you can see, we are not on F1 2019. This, as you can guess by the title, is the first piece of gameplay of F1 2020. And just a disclaimer, this is obviously not the full game. This is a work in progress, the beta version of it, and we're just going to get straight into it at Zandvoort, at the Netherlands circuit, a circuit that I have never done. It's never been on an F1 game before. I've never done it on any other racing game or anything at all. And at the moment of this footage, I'd only done about 3 or 4 laps in the McLaren. You can see the lap time in the top right corner was not a quick one. Quite a few people have been on this a little bit more before me. Unfortunately, I couldn't play it as much as I'd like to because I had a league race to practice for once I was given this. But this is at Zandvoort, and I was really excited to go into this. And of course, we already had some Red Bull footage displayed from Codemasters before, but we didn't really get to see any on board, and whoever was driving, I don't think had that much experience. So I decided to do similar to a video where I try and attempt the world record series, where you just see me go out with the default setup and literally just rag the car to its limit as much as I can. And at this moment in time, of course, since it's just the first few laps I've done of this game, there is a lot of potential even at the end of this video, to the max lap time that I do eventually achieve. There's a lot more potential in this, and yeah, it was a breath of fresh air from playing F1 2019, because although 2019 I feel is not a horrendous game, and there's a lot of things I do enjoy about it, there's a lot of things I don't enjoy about it, but it is always nice to just play a completely different game here. And we're just going to talk about my feelings. I'm not going into super detail in this video. Literally, this is just some raw gameplay of hopefully pushing the car and the track to its max, the maximum that I can at this moment in time. And the first thing I noticed straight away was it does feel different to F1 2019. I wouldn't say it feels like a simulation, because I don't think that's what Codemasters are trying to achieve, but I noticed straight away that in high speed the car just seems really glued to the track. But on traction, which you'll be able to see quite a lot in this video, towards the high end of the rev range, I feel traction is actually harder to control than it was on F1 2019 here. And that was the very first things I noticed. You do not want to be accelerating on curbs. There are some curbs that you can hit, others that you cannot, but I think on pure traction, straight away, you do not want to be accelerating on a curb whatsoever here. And we've done a 10.1, which is not bad at all. I think the fastest time someone's done in a Merc with a setup is a 9.3, so in a Red Bull, that's really not a bad effort at all. And going into this corner, very unique corner. It kind of reminds me of the Nordschleife carousel corner. Really actually enjoyed that. And it's a very fast track, this. So far in qualifying, I reckon this is going to be one of the best tracks. This sequence is just absolutely nuts, going complete fat out in 7th gear, and the 150 meter board, hitting the inside curb there. That's what I mean. You can hit that inside curb, but the outside curb, if you go on that, it really will just drag you out. And you can see really just fighting the car once again. And I was trying to be as aggressive as I could straight away. I was trying not to just ease myself into it. I really wanted to just go maximum attack straight away. And going on this curb, a little bit bumpy in there, don't want to hit that inside curb. And then on the exit here, you definitely don't want to go on that, because you will lose traction, as you can see by the delta here. Very tricky penultimate corner, staying nice and tight to here. We are rocking a default setup at this moment in time. And going across the line, let's see what lap time this is going to be. This is a 10.0, but I knew there was a little bit more in the tank here. This first corner, 150 meter board, very difficult traction coming off here. Love this corner, absolutely love it into here. Stay tight into here. Want to get a very good exit, short shifting into 3rd gear, and you can see fighting the car on the exit. And then completely flat out through here into this blind right-hander. Very scary. I imagine this corner would be terrifying in real F1. Going up into 7th gear, and this one here, probably my favourite corner on the track. I want to hit that inside curb, and this is very, very weird, this one, very difficult. You want to be turning in way earlier than you think, and this one here, you can pretty much use, I reckon there's so many different lines you could take through that corner and get a good exit. I would choose to go about the medium, the part of the corner really, just to get a best balance both worlds. Want to hit that inside curb, don't go on this exit, and we're up on this time, and this was a pretty decent lap with a default setup here, and coming across through the last corner, stay nice and tight to the track. Let's see what the lap time is going to be now. It is a 1 minute 9.9, and yep, I was pretty satisfied with that. I was quite happy. So we're going to go back to the pits, and we're going to go through the setup menu to see what has changed from F1 2019, if there's anything that has changed at all. So going into here, you can see my friend Timo Marduk has actually put on a setup in the Red Bull itself. So I think we are going to just nab his setup. I'm not going to go into my own setups at this moment in time. I'll probably save that for when the game comes out itself, because more than likely it's going to be quite different to this, which it is normally from the beta. And you can see, what is he rocking? He is rocking a 7.7 wing, so we still have the aerodynamics. We still have the transmission, so the diff as well. Running quite a weird diff, quite a weird suspension he's running, so we've still got that. This is completely not identical to F1 2019. The brakes here, but the thing that is different, something different, we have individual tyre pressures, which is going to be very, very interesting, actually, in fact. So that is the only difference in the beta. As I said, when the game comes out, there might be more things, so I wouldn't take this, it's not the final version or anything at all, but the only difference in the set menu is just the individual tyre pressures. As you can see, that's an example of how easy it is to lose traction. I find that once you lose control of the car in this game, it's very, very difficult to recover straight away. That's something, again, that I felt it's very hard to catch that oversteer. Like you can see again, almost lost it again through there, going through into this corner. And again, really enjoy this corner. Just try and get the best possible exit. And you notice that the HUD has slightly changed on the bottom right of the screen as well. I think it definitely looks a little bit more modern, a little bit more fresh. The one thing I do dislike about it though is the throttle and brake application. You can see it's got those individual bars. I would have preferred if they had it the same as 2019, where it's just one solid line, because I find for teaching people and people, when I watch other people and their throttle and brake application, you can get a much more of a sense of exactly how much percent they're using. Where this, it's going to be pretty difficult to learn from. I think it's going to be visually harder to see how much throttle and brake application. So that's the one thing I don't like about it. Another thing you might notice as well, the ERS 100% is mode 3, and I will be talking about ERS in the separate videos, because see, we have just improved my lap time as well. But ERS is a big thing in this game, and as I just said there, I will be saving that for a completely separate video, because that is going to be a very, very big topic in this game, especially for esports and for get my words out, competitive driving. It's going to be a huge thing. But moving on to this, using Ben's setups, I'm not going to change mine at all. You can see losing the car once you hit the grass as well, and once you lose the car, it's so hard to catch it. It is so hard to do, and I was having a little bit of a tough time actually getting used to this. The default setup I find is very stable, works very well, but it's the proof again, as I said in my previous videos and world record attempts, that not all people's setups are going to work for you. Where that corner, that carousel corner, I can see people wall riding that if they could get away with it, and you can see invalidated track limits. Track limits seem to be quite consistent around this track. If you did go slightly off, you did get a penalty straight away, which is good to see. You couldn't extend or just cut any corners or anything at all. See, do not want to accelerate on the curb. I cannot emphasize that enough in this game. You do not want to accelerate on the curb, but we're improving on the lap time this time. Let's see if we get some very nice traction coming off this corner, slightly down on our first delta. Try and minimize the distance of the corner. 6th gear and then go up into 7th gear here. You have to take it almost flat out going into here as much as you can. The corner is just constantly turning right, turning earlier than you think. 3rd gear, 4th gear, swoop out to the right. and then about middle of the corner, go short shift into 4th gear. Then there's another DRS zone, so there's 2 DRS zones around this track, and this one here you want to be braking just as the curb starts. Then I missed the apex on that occasion. 2nd gear, this is a horrible corner. Again, you just want to completely avoid that curb on the outside. I've done 150 meter board, 4th gear just for extra bite, extra rotation. There is rotation on this game. I even did use 1st gear on some occasions. And coming across the line, what lap time is this going to be? This is a 1 minute 9.5. Yep, I can't see it on my screen because my screen quality is a lot worse than what you guys can see on the YouTube. And again, you don't want to be accelerating on curbs. Otherwise, it will just completely kill you. But coming across the line again, once you hit those limits, you do find, as I mentioned in my world record videos, you do just get quicker and quicker every single time. And you can see we're up again going into this corner. Let's see, I hit the dirt a little bit, and if you do hit the dirt, the grip just completely goes. You can see we had catastrophic understeer going through into here, and again, almost losing the car, swooping out to the outside, but the rear end hits the dirt, and we're just spun around once again. Hitting that curb on the outside, car does not like that. But yeah, initial thoughts of this handling is that I wouldn't say it feels hugely different from F1 2019, as we get an invalidation for just crossing the pit lane line there, which was very interesting. But yeah, I would say, yeah, it's not simulation, it's definitely a simcade, but I would say traction, I would say definitely feels harder than on this game. I say braking is a lot easier. I honestly was not locking up at all into that first corner. I can't remember when I locked up. It was only when I was turning for that hairpin was the only time I locked up. And you also notice that the sound of a lock-up is, again, we go on, drift off the track and we just lose all grip. But yeah, the lock-up sound has actually changed as well. But yeah, it was mainly just a traction and just the grip in high speed. It just felt the car was impossible to slide as you were going high speed direction changes, which is, I'm guessing, how it really should be in real life, with the high downforce is really kind of what you're actually expecting. Making another improvement once again, and this is a 1 minute 9.3 now, so no, very quick. I felt, no, that was actually quite a quick lap here, but I think we're now going to move on to my actual fastest lap that I did in the session. I think a little bit just after this, and it's similar again, one wheel off, and you are just absolutely just gone. But now, this is a very nice lap here. So coming off the last corner, let's talk through this lap. So getting on the DRS line as early as you can. For this first corner, you want to be looking for the 150 meter board, the first board on the left hand side. Once you hit that, go in deep, late apex. Once the car's straight, that's when we're going full throttle. 150 meter board, as you hit that, that's your turning in point. 5th gear, stay as tight as you can, let it drift out, and then come back, short shift into 3rd gear, and then once you're straight, that's when you go on the throttle, completely flat out through this left, and then going up this hill into the blind right. Look for the left hand board, that yellow board, that is your downshift point. Then into 7th gear, 150 meter board, use that as your turning in point. You want to be turning in before the 150 meter board, on that attack early apex going into here, drift out wide, middle of the track, short shift into 4th gear, minimize the traction, and then DRS once again. Once a curb, just before the curb starts on the left hand side, that's your braking point in a straight line, really aggressive into the right, drift out, 2nd gear, make a little error actually, we lost, you can see how much time we actually lost going through here, 150 meter board, 4th gear, quickly on the power, and now really tight to his right hand side. And let's see what this lap time is going to be. It could have been so much faster actually, because we lost a lot of time in that last sector. It is a 1 minute 9.2, and I think we could have done a 9.0 potentially. Definitely a 1 if we hooked up that last sector. So this is my first gameplay of Zandvoort. This is the setup I was using. I was just using Ben's setup. I will be improvising with my own setups very shortly. I hope you enjoyed this first gameplay. Plenty more to come very soon. Hope you enjoyed it, and catch you soon. Peace.